Hello students, good afternoon and welcome to our math class today. Today our lesson will be on symmetry and it is from Unit 12, page 64 of our learner's textbook. First, we have to understand what is the meaning of symmetry. Symmetry is when you divide a shape or an object into halves that fits each other. That means you have a balanced half. One side should not be bigger than the other, or should not have any difference as compared to the other, okay? So today's lesson we're going to learn about how we can put line of symmetry into shapes. We have three shapes here that we're going to look at how we can put a line of symmetry. But before, your line of symmetry can go on a vertical direction. That means it can go from top to down. It can also go from a horizontal direction. That means it can go from left to right, or it can go from right to left. Again, you can also put your line in a diagonal way. That can also give you your line of symmetry. So the diagonal way goes from the corners, from the top corner to the bottom corner, either on the left side or on the right side, okay? So we have this diagonal going from the left top to the right bottom, and then this is coming from the right top to the left bottom. So it's either you use a vertical, horizontal, or diagonal to determine your line of symmetry. This is a shape of a square. This is a shape of a rectangle, and then this is a shape of a circle. We're going to see how we can put line of symmetry into our square shape as well as the other two shapes that we have. What you have to remember is that it's not about just getting the halves, it's getting perfect equal halves. That means wherever you put your line of symmetry, the halves should be the same. If this place is 10 centimeters, here is supposed to be 10 centimeters, okay? So let me demonstrate with a sheet of paper before we go onto the board, okay? So first we have our circle here. So when you fold your circle into two halves, they are supposed to fit, okay? You see, it fits. It's the same. That means this side becomes our line of symmetry. So we're going to put this same side here into our circle so that when we fold it into two like this, it's going to give us a complete shape. This is also a square. So we have our square here. So this is a shape of a square, okay? So first we can fold it into a triangle, two triangles, okay? So with two triangles, it fits into each other completely, okay? We can also do it like this. It can also fit into the halves, okay? Now let's see about the rectangle. So first of all, if you fold your rectangle like this, you get perfect half, okay? Let's see. You can also fold it like this, you also get a perfect half. But if you want to try the diagonal, you see, it doesn't fit. This cannot sit on this one, so that means you cannot put a diagonal line of symmetry into your rectangle. However, with a square, you can do that one. So let's do it on our board to see how it's going to go, okay? So let's use our long ruler so that it's easy. Okay, so we take this, so we take equal half. Okay, so this will be our first line of symmetry. That means we are using the vertical to make our line of symmetry. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have other one. So that means we have two lines of symmetry now. We can also go in the diagonal. So let's see diagonal, how diagonal is also going to work. Okay, so diagonal is also going through nicely, so we can also put diagonal here. So far we've gotten 3 lines already, so we can do one more. Okay, so it means that with your square, you can put how many? You can put 4 lines of symmetry into your square, and all the halves are going to be the same, because if you put it here, this half and this half is going to be the same. If you put it on this side and that side is also going to be the same. In the case of the circle, wherever you put your line is going to give you an equal halves. That means a circle is having so many lines of symmetry that depend on the size of the circle, that will help you to count the number of lines that you can put in the circle. Yeah, let's do that of our rectangle and see how many that we can make. So this is a rectangle. We look for the half, and then we put our line of symmetry inside. Okay, so that is one way, and then we can go this way. I think it has to go a little bit up. Okay, so we are in the middle. Always make sure your line will go over the boundaries of your design, okay, so that we know that you are getting the halves of it. Okay, so with a rectangle, this is the line of symmetry that we can make. So we can only have 2 lines of symmetry with our rectangle, but in the case of the circle, we can do as many as possible, because anywhere you cross that passes through the center will give you a complete half that fits into each other. You are also supposed to be mindful that whenever you are doing with a line of symmetry, you should always make sure the halves fit into each other. It is not about just getting the halves, they must match to each other. Okay, because this is your first video, you have your first activity that will be from the learner's book, page 64 and that of 65. We are doing questions 1, 2, 3. We skip 4 and 5, and then we go to 6, 7, and 8. We'll meet in our second video and continue our lesson. Students, welcome back to our second video. Our lesson is on symmetry. We have understood that symmetry is a line that we put into shapes that gives an equal halves, okay? And we've also realized that it's not all shapes that we can put line of symmetry into them. Again, we have also studied that some shapes can take more than 1 line of symmetry, can take 1, and others can take only 1, okay? So we have these shapes here that we're going to also find out how many lines of symmetry that we can put in them, okay? So this is a triangle, but if you look at the shape, it looks like a right angle triangle. This is also a triangle. When you look at the shape very carefully, it looks like equilateral triangle. That means all the sides are equal. And then we have this diagram, which also looks like a kite. So we're going to see how we're going to put our line of symmetry into all these shapes. This is a right angle triangle, so that means this line and this line can be equal, whereas this line will be longer than all these 2. That means if you want to put a line of symmetry into this one, you have to look at the sides that are equal. So this line is equal to this very line. That means when we put our diagonal line into our diagonal symmetry line into this one, we're going to have 1 line of symmetry with this particular drawing. Okay, so let's see. So we'll stand here and then we'll go like that, okay? Okay, so we can do one more. Okay, so that means this triangle can only take one line of symmetry. So when you fold this into the other side, because this line is equal to this line, it can equally fit into the other. Our second triangle, we know that this line is equal to this line and is also equal to this very line. So that means we can do 3 lines of symmetry into this particular drawing because all the sizes are equal and it's having 3 corners. So we can stand in any of the corners and then we put our line of symmetry inside. Okay, so first we will do the vertical line of symmetry. Okay, so we have our vertical line of symmetry. Then we can also go on the diagonal to also put our line of symmetry through. Okay, so going diagonal, we also get something like this. Okay, the last one is we can also go this way because all the sizes are equal. So that means when you stand in any of the angles, it's going to give you a perfect match to any of the sides. Okay, so yes. So when you stand on this corner, you can have a perfect half, and this corner can sit on the other corner. The same way when you also go this way, you can have a perfect half onto this very size. Okay, now let's see this diagram. The only way we can put a line of symmetry is when we stand here and then we go here. That means it can only have one line of symmetry. So we will stand here and then we will put our line of symmetry there. So that means we will go horizontal. Okay, so we have our line going through very nicely. Okay, so always know that some shapes can have horizontal, some can have vertical, and some can have diagonal. Then it's very easy for you to determine your line of symmetry. Your second activity on this video will be from the Skills Builder. We're going to do from pages 46 and that of 47. Please, you are to do question 1 up to 6. I'll see you in our last video. Students, this is our last video, and I want to do a recap with you on our lesson today. Our lesson has been on symmetry, and we have gone through some of the shapes and how we can put line of symmetry inside. So basically, symmetry means that you are dividing an object or a shape into 2 equal halves that fits into each other. You can use a horizontal line of symmetry. That means you are going from the left to right to make the half of your shape. You can as well use vertical. That means you are going from top to down or down to top. You can use diagonal from the right corner or the left corner to make your line of symmetry. Some objects can take only one line of symmetry. Others can take more than one line. So always you have to look more careful at your object that you are dealing with so that you know how many line of symmetry that it can take, and so that you can give the right answer. Line of symmetry can also be known as the mirror line because it gives a reflection of the other half that you are dealing with. So it can also be called a mirror line. So whenever you hear a line of reflection, symmetry, or a mirror line, it all means the same topic. Okay, Your homework is at the challenge book section of your textbook. You are to look at pages 40 and 41 and do question 1 up to 4. Thank you for joining this lesson, and I will see you again next time. Bye.